I'm Natalie Brunell for Bitcoin Magazine, and MicroStrategy has purchased even more Bitcoins. Michael Saylor made the announcement via Twitter saying, quote, MicroStrategy has purchased an additional 1,434 Bitcoins for $82.4 million cash at an average price of $57,477 per Bitcoin. As of December 9th, 2021, we hodl 122,478 Bitcoins acquired for $3.66 billion at an average price of $29,861 per Bitcoin. Now, clearly he didn't get his coins at the low price El Salvador President Nayib Bukele did. If you recall Bukele's tweet over the weekend when Bitcoin had that red candle down, he said he missed the bottom by just 7 minutes. Now, Saylor also made the rounds on Yahoo Finance with this amazing clip about the congressional hearing on crypto that happened on Capitol Hill Wednesday. Saylor said the clear winner of the hearing was Bitcoin.
I watched a lot of those hearings yesterday, and I think the big winner of the congressional hearings is Bitcoin. It's pretty clear that there's consensus at the congressional level in support of crypto. It's pretty clear that investors want to invest in the new digital economy. Bitcoin's universally acknowledged as common property and not a security. So there's no regulatory overhang on Bitcoin. If you want digital property as a long-term store of value, then every nation in the world, China, Europe, the United States, they all acknowledge that Bitcoin is digital property. It's not a security. There's a lot of question about how other security tokens will be resolved in the crypto exchanges and DeFi. And obviously, there's a lot of enthusiasm for it. There's a lot of pressure to move forward with regulatory clarity. I think it'll happen. But in the meantime, I think the one takeaway that any reasonable investor could have is that Bitcoin's here to stay, and Bitcoin's an obvious solution. And there really isn't any regulatory uncertainty around Bitcoin's status as property, a commodity, and a store of value. We can debate how volatile and how speculative it is, but the regulatory issues really aren't outstanding at this point.
Hey, Michael, it's Brian Chung here. I want to drill a little bit more on the store of value side of things, as you just illustrated. One of the arguments for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies is its ability to usurp the US dollar. But stablecoins caught a lot of attention. And what caught my ear was actually some conversation about how stablecoins could actually entrench the US dollar status. I want to play a clip of Jeremy Allaire from Circle talking about this with Congress yesterday. Take a listen.
Dollar stablecoins are doing trillions of dollars of transactions. The experimental beta of a Chinese yuan, which is government controlled in China, has done $10 billion of transactions. So the United States is winning. This has the potential to grow at a very significant speed around the world and benefit the US dollar and benefit American businesses and households. And so I think that's one really, really critical thing to understand. And I think the primacy of this infrastructure and the development of this infrastructure, it is a strategic national security and national economic priority for the United States, and we need to get going on it right now.
So, Michael, I guess any thoughts on how stablecoins kind of play with the broader goals of crypto? Because it seems like an implicit acknowledgement that while Bitcoin may be, attractive, it has other attractive offerings, means of payment is one that might be better served by stablecoins.
Yeah, I think it's a mistake to characterize any of the cryptos as currencies. They really should be thought of as crypto assets. Bitcoin is a crypto asset. It's a property. It's not a currency. The IRS determined that in 2014 when they designated it as property. The dollar is a currency. The digital dollar is a digital currency, and everybody in the world wants two things. They want a digital currency and they want the dollar, right? The world wants 10 or 20 or 30 trillion dollars worth of digital dollars. They don't want the lira, the peso, the bolivar, the naira. I think that the digital dollar is destined to collapse the 100 weakest currencies in the world, and the US dollar, which is currently the reserve currency of the world on 20th century banking rails, is going to be the reserve digital currency of the world on 21st century crypto rails. I don't think there's any dispute about that, and Jeremy's correct. The United States needs the digital dollar. We need stable coins to spread. Now, with regard to Bitcoin, Bitcoin is digital property. The world needs digital property to hold their money for a decade or a century. They need the digital dollar as a medium of exchange to move money back and forth day by day, week by week. both of those are going to be big winners in the coming crypto eras, no doubt in my mind.
And Michael, as we've seen more institutions enter the crypto verse, will more institutions getting involved, will that bring a threat to the financial system?
No, the only thing that's threatened by Bitcoin is gold. Here's what's happening. People are exchanging their weak currencies for strong currencies. And that means they want to trade the Turkish lira for the dollar or the euro. They want to trade, there's no African currency or South American currency which will survive. People don't even want to hold the Chinese RMB, right? If they could trade the CNY for the US dollar, they would do it. That's why the Chinese have capital controls. So the first dynamic is the trade from weak currency to strong currency as a medium of exchange. The second trade is weak property and weak assets to strong assets. Gold is a weak property. You know, you're better off not to buy a second investment property. You're better off not to hold negative yielding bonds. What you want to do is hold a strong property that's going to appreciate in value, at least at the rate of monetary inflation. So you can expect that Bitcoin can grow from $0 to $100 trillion, from $1 to $100 trillion in market cap just by replacing gold, silver, and demonetizing real estate and negative yielding bonds and other monetary indexes. These are assets. I think you can expect the US dollar is going to expand from $170 billion worth of stable coins to a trillion to 10 trillion, maybe 20, 30, 40, 50, $100 trillion worth of US dollar stable coins. No, I mean, it's not a threat. In fact, I would turn it around and say, if the US dollar is going to remain the world's reserve currency, it needs to move as a stable coin throughout the entire world. And, the government doesn't care whether you sell your gold to buy Bitcoin. It's not an issue. In fact, the best thing you could do is sell all $10 trillion worth of gold and buy Bitcoin. Gold's a dead rock. It's the worst performing asset the past decade, bar none, no debate, and there's no hope for it.
We expect Saylor to keep stacking, but you know what? You can't have my Bitcoins. For more headlines, head to bitcoinmagazine.com.